Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to yet another episode of the BrkThru podcast. Guys, it's been really, really difficult for me to give you episodes each week. Super busy with my work, with my gigs. And finally, I'm here, but I'm with one of my closest buddies who I just recently met on a platform called Clubhouse. I have with me the one and only Gaurav. Gaurav Gambhir, right? Because I just told
Yes.
him I'm so scared of calling him Gautam Gambhir because we always call him D-Cypher. Welcome to the podcast, D-Cypher. Bye.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me. And yeah, I'm really glad to be on this podcast.
I think we've kind of been in touch with each other for the last, I think, 4 5 months. It's been on Clubhouse, and I honestly wasn't aware of you being the decipher who was in the popular movie Gully Boy, and we've just been friends, man. It's such a ride, and we have so many conversations. It's kind of unreal. I think Clubhouse में एक ही फायदा हुआ कि at least I met a couple of good friends, and we've continued to stay connected and talk all
Yes.
gibberish bullshit all up till the whole night. But it's good to finally get you on the podcast and talk probably a bit serious about music and about your background. Because we've always refrained. हम लोग जब भी जाते थे कि let's speak. Obviously, you are such
Hmm.
a conversationalist. We used to always get into the whole music scene, but then I surely still कि नहीं bro, podcast में रख ले. So that's the reason. So finally here, and it's been a massive
Yes.
struggle, man, to get you on the podcast. साला इतना busy रहता
अरे क्या मैं बिजी क्या वो लास्ट वीक तो लाइट चलेगा
है.
लाइट और इंटरनेट चलेगा फाइनली आई वाज फ्री एंड लाइक स्टफ हैपेंड सो क्या बोलूं
Great, man. So, welcome again to the podcast. Bro, tell me a bit about your journey. I think the reason I wanted you on the podcast is we've had a lot of musicians, a lot of singers, rappers, even who've come on the podcast. But, you're one of the first people I wanted to get who come from the beatbox community. First of all, how did you get into this? What is beatboxing? What's the future? What's your plan? And how did you come into this, the beatboxing scene?
I basically discovered this like art form in 2000, like somewhere around 2011. I'd already seen this once on TV. Where there used to be a show called MTV Super Select by Nikhil Chinnappa, which he
Yeah, of
used to
course.
host.
Yeah.
And I'd seen a beatboxer in that show called Avinash Tiwari when I was in the ninth standard. He is part of a group called BrkThru. So I had seen him, but at that point of time, I don't know, for some strange reason, I found it very cool, but like it didn't stick in my mind. And then I ended up seeing a movie called Step Up to the Streets in 2008. So when I saw that movie, I was like, wow, this dance movie is like amazing. And I got into the whole, the street dance community. I used to go for these events and I started learning b-boying. And in 2011, I'd gone for an event, and that is where I saw a beatboxer from Bangalore. His name is Vineet Kumar. He was the host of that event, and he was beatboxing live in that event. And once I heard that, I was like, wow, this is even more cooler. This is, very unreal. I couldn't believe that something like that was
Yeah.
possible. Probably because I was hearing it for the first time on a mic live and on like proper speakers. So, because like I had always seen dance for like really amazing dancers internationally. When it comes to these shows like So You Think You Can Dance and
Yeah.
all these other international dance reality shows. So I knew that dancing, at least internationally and even nationally, was something that there were amazing. Like there were levels to it. But beatboxing, when I first saw it, I was like, this is something really crazy, and I've never seen it, and I can't believe that this is humanly possible. So it really intrigued me, and I started learning this. Like I started watching videos and exploring this more in 2012. That was a time when I didn't have the time to practice b-boying because I was already into it, and I was slowly drifting away from it, and I started beatboxing as a hobby, and I just like got into it in the year 2012, and I've been doing it since then. Like it started off as a hobby, and slowly, steadily, I got serious with it.
So when did you realize that okay, I'm not just because if you look at me, I remember back in that time when hip hop was, was popping in Bombay specifically. I had a lot of friends from there. I remember mentioning this to even Sa that there was a whole, you could see that there's something happening in the hip hop scene, probably where right now now techno is, and where dance EDM music is. That's how hip hop was at that time. And I remember there a lot of people used to do a lot of those beatboxing things, and it was a new trend. And I'm pretty sure you started back then, But when did it click that, okay, this is, I'm slightly better than the others, in terms of, in a very humble way, okay, I'm
Hmm.
not that average. So when did that actually move happen?
that that thing, like that, like I got stuck with that thing when I started off in 2012 and I was doing it as a hobby. Then I started going for college festivals, and
Hmm.
over there I realized that there are obviously people better than me, and there are these levels to it, because I was a complete amateur. Then I started watching videos on YouTube and even on Facebook and all these online platforms. And I again went to, compete in this competition. Slowly and steadily, I started winning some of it. That is when I realized, okay, I'm getting slightly better at it, because with every competition, I was just monitoring as to how good or better I was getting with each passing competition. And around 2014, like for the first time, a college asked me to judge an event. That is when it slightly struck me that, okay, now people think that I'm at such a level where I can even judge a competition. It was very weird for me to judge it, because I've like refused it completely. I don't want to do it. But then even the participants felt like I should judge that event. So from there on, I think I realized that I'm getting better at it, and this is what I want to do. And also, I think there's this thing that played a very vital part in it. So in 2012, when I discovered this, I also got to know of a group called Cypher Mania, which was a Facebook page. Like it was a
Okay.
Facebook group, and one of my friends, whose name is Adarsh, that he used to stay in my area when I was in school. So he was also a part of it. And I also had another friend, he was my sister's friend, and I was also his friend. His name is D Evil, he's from Gully Gang. So even he was a part of it. So I used to chat with these guys online. They were like, hey, you're into beatboxing, right? So I said, yes. So they told me that every Sunday they meet at a place in Dadar where these rappers, they have a cipher where
Okay.
they just get together and, each one of them perform in front of the others. And if you're a beatboxer, you can do beatboxing live and they will rap on your beatboxing. So every Saturday, Sunday, I used to go there, and I got along with these rappers. And by beatboxing for these rappers, because all of them had different flows and they used to rap on different tempos, my beatboxing automatically improved. And because I was with these like-minded people, who used to continuously talk about rap and beatboxing and anything and everything related to hip hop. I think my mental state also was in such a nice phase where continuously I was thinking about hip hop in general and beatboxing. So I was very focused, and because of that, I think that played a vital role in me getting better at it. Because then I was like, every time I go there, every week, I have to do something good or something better. So that, I think, really pushed me to get better. And at around 2014, I realized that I really like this, because I wait till the end of the week so that I can go and jam with these rappers. And this is what I love to do, and this is what I want to continue doing.
I'm pretty sure those are the rappers who are kind of killing it right now. I mean, if you mentioned Devil,
Yeah,
these guys are like they're killing it.
exactly.
It might be an amazing experience to to see someone start from scratch. I think all of you guys have started from there, and all of you have collectively grown. It's not that someone's not doing that great. Everyone is doing something or the other very very good. What was that
Yes.
experience? Going to I mean, I'm pretty sure you've mentioned already that it was an awesome time for you. But in general, what was the atmosphere? What was the vibe? Because I think in 2012 13 there was no idea, there was no hip hop. He was ढीले कपड़े पहन के आ रहा है, बाप के कपड़े पहन के आ रहा है. That wala scene was going on
Exactly.
because what was your thought process? I mean, not just you but the entire scene. What was the thought process that time? Did you have faith that this is going to blow up, or you're just going with
No,
the flow?
I think all of us just used to meet up with each other, because we felt that like whatever happens during the week from Monday to Friday, you just want to put that aside and meet up with like-minded people on a Saturday and Sunday and just chill with them, because that makes you feel good. I don't think anybody was expecting anything out of it, because at that point of time, all of these guys used to rap in English. That was like, yeah, there was literally no Hindi rapper in that cipher. I still remember. If somebody used to rap in Hindi, everybody used to be like, oh, he's rapping in Hindi, and
Okay.
that's nice. Like it's crazy. Like somebody's trying to rap in Hindi. So that was the vibe of the cipher. A lot of the rappers that rap in Hindi now, back then they used to rap in English.
English, yeah.
So that was the vibe of it, like, because I think the main thing that people had in mind was we just want to have fun. This is something that we like to do, and by meeting up with like-minded people, we'll get to, maybe get better at this, because there are some people. Everybody used to look up to someone in that group. Like there was one person in that group who was better than you. I was the odd man out because I was the only beatboxer, but otherwise, I think every rapper, because there was some person who had started in 2008. So if someone was coming in 2012, he knew that he could learn from that guy. Then
Mhm.
there were some guys who started in 2010. So the 2010 person also knew that I could learn from, the guy who started like very early. So everybody was getting to learn from each other. Like the vibe of the group was that we want to learn from each other. And this is something that we like to do. There were literally zero expectations. And when it comes to thinking back then that it would become this big years down the line, it was like I don't think anybody expected it, because I still remember at that point of time when anybody used to be called to judge a college festival for free, they used to be so
Yeah.
excited that we're getting to perform in front of a crowd. So it used to be a huge thing that, hey, this weekend I'm performing at this college in Mumbai. And everybody used to be like, wow, they're calling you to perform. Now you're a celebrity. So that
Wow.
back then, celebrity status or, being famous meant that somebody's calling you to perform and they're
Wow.
interested in listening to your music. So all these small things used to make people happy, and I think that is something that's missing now, like the community culture, because that culture probably built the whole scene that we have right now. Like you said, a lot of people from that particular cipher or that particular group are killing it right now. I
Yeah.
think it was because of that community, and because of people meeting like-minded people every weekend. They were always inspired, and they were always in touch with people that they could discuss these things with. So, and because right now the scene is that everybody wants to upload a video on YouTube, and they
Yeah.
quickly want to get famous on Instagram. So there's no community culture as such, because I've recently been to some ciphers. If you go to any cipher right now, everybody just wants to come into the limelight and be like, hey, listen to my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just want us to show you that, hey, this is the music video that I've done. I have these many followers or these many subscribers, so I'm making it. But back then, all of these guys were really skilled. They had zero expectations. I'm pretty sure none of them knew that this could happen, or there was no vision. I would say no. None of us, I think, had a vision that this is what is going to happen. We were just doing our stuff, and we were just expecting something to happen out of nowhere. We were just expecting magic to happen, and I think it happened. Like I don't know how it happened, whatever happened, but it has happened. And so many rappers and like basically the hip hop community is at a good place, right?
Wow. So before we go to, obviously what you've been doing recently, I want to kind of know what was your background in terms of when you started off. I'm pretty sure I can bet you $1,000 you never knew you're going to be a beatboxer, probably professionally. But what was your background? What was your thought process? Tell me about your family. Tell me where you come from. Tell me about, your background in general.
So I come from a very like a normal background only. Like in my house, there was always this thing that was instilled in us that you have to study really well. Like every household has that notion, that
Yeah.
you have to be good in your studies, and you have to you have to be good at your academics, and then whatever you wanna do, you can do it. Like there was no rules implied on me that you can't do this or whatever, unless you're doing good with whatever you're doing, like you're earning money through it, or you're progressing slightly day by day. Then it's cool, because I still remember I used to go to these college festivals and my mom used to ask me, did you make any money? Like, what did you get? You won that
Yeah.
competition, what did you get? And I used to tell her, I got only McDonald's vouchers. So she was like, then what is the use of you doing whatever you're doing? So, and I realized that, and I was like, huh. But luckily, at that age, or like in my college, when I was in college, I used to never think of making money from my art in my early stages. which was good, I think, because I knew that first I have to, have some presence, have a good profile, and only then I can think of making money. I have to be good at whatever I'm doing. Only then can I think of making money out of it. So in my house, it was like you study well, you take care of yourself, and if you want to do whatever you're doing, if it's not hampering your academics, then it's fine. You can continue doing it. So with beatboxing, because I think I was progressing a bit, by the time I graduated, I obviously knew that at that point of time there was no scene of beatboxers being a
Yeah.
full time beatboxer. There was literally no scene at all, because even the rap scene or whatever, wherever it is now, all of this happened after the movie came out, and slightly even before the movie. You could see
Yeah.
that it's going in a direction where it's going to go up. But in 2014-15, there was literally no scene at all. Once some like during college festival season, all you could do is go to these festivals, and some of only a very few of them used to pay you if you ended up winning that competition. So after I graduated, I knew that I have to, maybe think of taking up a job, and that is exactly what I ended up doing. I worked in a digital marketing agency for 3 years. It was tough handling that and my beatboxing because I remember in the beginning, like beatboxing to a complete backseat, because I used to always think about what am I doing in my office, like whatever is happening at my workplace, and because you're going there, for like you're spending most of your time in your workplace.
Yeah.
Uh, Especially if you come from a place like Virar, because you have to travel all the way, then you come back. By the time you reach home, it's your time to sleep. So there
I
was
know, man.
literally no time at all for me thinking about beatboxing. But luckily, because Saturdays and Sundays I used to get an off, I used to make sure that I won't stay at home, I won't rest, and I used to go out and live a dual life where Monday to Friday I'm working, and on Saturdays and Sundays I'm going to gigs and meeting up. I'm meeting up with musicians and all of those things. So yeah, so handling, I think when I first got into my job, the first 1.5 years, I was still trying to, see what can I do along with it. Like how can I handle beatboxing along with my job? And slowly and steadily it became a routine where I knew that Monday to Friday I have to be at my workplace, and on these 2 days, whatever I can do with it, I will do it, and that's how it progressed. Like uh, I had a job till like the first half of 2020 till January 2020, and that was a last working month for me. And since then, I got completely into beatboxing, and that is when COVID-19 hit the world.
Oh shit.
I was like,
No, but
ये
I
क्या
mean,
हो गया अभी?
no, but tell me one thing. So I'm in a similar situation as you. So it's more of a personal question where
Hmm.
I'm I'm shuffling between work and passion, and work, which is a bread and butter, and also music and stuff like that. So tell me, how did you get the confidence or the calling that okay, let me just, because I struggle with the same thing in terms of time. That's how I can't commit a podcast episode every week. So
Got
when
it.
do you know that you probably have to take the leap of faith, and what are the things coming in? Because obviously finance comes into the picture, family pressure comes into the picture, our age is not, we're not getting younger, all of these things
Hmm.
come, societal pressure comes in. So how did that switch happen? What made you do it?
Uh, so I think in 2016 when I first joined my like when I first started working, uh, in the month of December, our crew was from Bombay local.
Yeah.
And I remember in my crew also, everybody was working. Shakespeare, who's the founder of the crew, he was working. Gravity also was working. Roshan, obviously, he was in college. And there's another guy called Rymix. He was also, I think, finishing his studies. So back then, when we formed that crew, our aim or agenda was we have to like make music. And it was more towards the protest type like form of music, because Shakespeare was like a socio-political rapper, and we used to talk about all these subjects and the things we face in our day-to-day lives. That is why we call the crew also Bombay local. We ended
Yeah.
up keeping that name because that is what our life is. We travel in the train half of the time. That's our second home. So we called it Bombay local just because of that, and because Virar and Nala Sopa and all these places are famous for their for like first thing that comes to your mind is local train when you think of Virar. So yeah, when that crew was formed, apart from me doing whatever I was doing as a solo beatboxer, a lot of things were happening with Bombay local as well. And I remember in 2017, I think Gravity got a chance to perform at Gully Fest, which was a music festival by Divine. That happened, and we were before that we were being covered by a lot of media publications. There was a lot of press coverage. Every week we were performing somewhere or the other. And in 2018, that was also a time, I'll be very honest, like the second half of 2017 and the first half of 2018, there was something very bad happening in my personal life where my mom was diagnosed with cancer. So
Okay.
it was a damn tough time where already I was, thinking about my job and beatboxing, and that I was dealing with that as well. So all of that happened, and I was struggling to do whatever I was doing. But in the first half of 2018, I think we started shooting for Gully Boy in the month of March and April. And when that was happening, on whatever was happening with Bombay local, I was like, wow, this is now there is something continuously happening apart from my job, where I had to ask for a leave again and again because I was doing gigs with Bombay local and sometimes as a solo beatboxer as well. So I was thinking that this is going well right now. What I couldn't see in 2016, I could see it very clearly in 2017 and 18. And then after shooting for Gully Boy, me and like my beatbox partner BrkThru, we ended up winning the Indian. We were, like became second at the Indian Beatbox Championship in the tag team category. And then the movie released, and all of those things happened. So since 2 3 years continuously, I was thinking about it that someday or the other I have to take the
Yeah.
leap of faith
Yeah.
because this is what I eventually want to do. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And when I saw that so many things are happening and day by day my profile is building up, like I still remember this is like a very crazy thing when like my mom, whatever was happening with her, I had to perform at Lakme Fashion Week. And it is so like it's a very weird thing that one day before she passed away, I performed at Lakme Fashion Week. And the day after that also, like one day after whatever happened, again I had to perform at an event. So that is when I realized, see, this is my life, and so many things are happening with me. It's very tough to deal with it, but I still have to perform at all these venues and stages, and I'm getting an opportunity to perform. So all of these things were going on inside me, and by 2019, after the movie and everything came out, I knew that I have to do this full time. Because not because it was not like now right now I've got a momentary fame. Like now the movie
Yeah.
has come out, so we'll be like they will be hyped up for like 3 4 months. And I know that can also happen because a lot of people go through that. Sometimes you do a reality show and you think you're the next big thing, but then you know
Yeah.
that when the next season comes out, people will forget about you. So I had all those things in my mind, but I knew that now is the time that I shouldn't regret the fact that I never ended up trying to do this full time when I'm like 50 or 60. So I wanted to take the leap of faith, and I wanted to like do it full time. So I was like, अभी कुछ सोच नहीं अभी कुछ बचा ही नहीं है सोचने के लिए, because as a freelancer or as a musician, there will always be this phase that you have to get up every day and you have to create an opportunity for yourself. You have to
Yeah.
do something because it's like a chain. You've done this, because of this you'll get something. Now if you're here again, you have to do something good, because of that you'll get something. So I knew that this is my life and this is what I want to do, and I'll have to create opportunities every day I wake up from
Wow,
my
man.
bed. And
It's
that's all I can do. It's all in my hands, where I just have to wake up and I have to do what I do, and I have to see what all opportunities exist in the world, and somehow they will end up coming to me if my intention is right.
Wow, man, that just
So
speaks
yeah,
so much about your dedication, man. In terms of, your personal story and your commitment towards your work. It just blows my mind, and that's the reason. There are so many stories in each one of us, and it's just about us to pick up what we want to pick up, and that definitely is going to be a takeaway for me because I personally have gone through a lot of stuff in that aspect as well, and
exactly.
you don't usually get a chance to speak about this, or share it,
Yeah,
and there's a person can internet that I have on the same concept. Now tell me, Gully Boy came in, and I'm pretty sure it was crazy, man. I obviously know, you had the title track, which was the first thing we all heard. That was, I think that was the first teaser, was your track. But tell me tell me the pre-story, what happened before the in terms of how did the whole thing happen, auditions kya tha? Because I know all of you guys were there. If I look at the old videos, I think by
Yeah.
then I think Divine was and Nazy were pretty established, and they were kind of the head honchos. But I saw a lot of the guys from Saath Bantais and all of you guys just in those videos which are getting viral, of you guys jamming, and when you are there, I think MC Stan and MBWay and all of those guys are just out there. What was the vibe? How was the scene? How did you in fact get the opportunity to be on board?
So it's a very funny story, and this is the time I after this happened, I started believing in something called like destiny, like something that's written for you will always end up coming to you.
Yeah,
Because in 2018, I think they had organized a first ever, like 2017, they had organized a workshop for rappers where before they did the auditions, before they conducted the auditions, it was a message sent out to all the rappers in the underground scene that hey, we're just doing a demo workshop where Ranveer
yeah,
Singh is gonna jam with you guys, and he's just gonna, and like obviously Zoyak is also gonna be there, and they're gonna check out who are the good rappers or whatever, and then they'll see if they want to work with them. So obviously we were not invited for that. I just saw the clips on the internet and I was like, wow, this movie is actually happening. Because before that, there was only news that a movie is going to be made. So, but there was no concrete evidence as to like it has started. And
yeah.
then this happened. I was like, wow, it is actually happening. It's going to be crazy. And then because when I was working in that agency, I got a call for the first time from Excel's casting team that hey, this we're doing a movie called Gully Boy and we're looking out for rappers. So I told them I'm not a rapper, I'm a beatboxer. They're like, okay, cool. We're not looking for beatboxers, we're looking for a rapper. So I sent them 50, 60 contacts, whatever contacts I had of whichever rapper as I take. Then again, I got a call from them. They were looking for rappers if you have any contacts. So I told them that I'd already got a call, but I have some more names. And this ended up happening 4 times. And when I got a call for the fourth time, I told them I'm a beatboxer, and the guy ended up asking me, like, what is that? So I beatboxed on call for him. I was like, अरे वो मुंह से आवाज निकलते ना ऐसे. And I did that. ऐसे नहीं नहीं ये नहीं चाहिए, रैपर ही चाहिए. तो मैंने बोला मैंने 3 बार ऑलरेडी भेजा है. So he was like, okay, cool, आपने 3 बार ऑलरेडी भेजा है, तो अभी भेजने की जरूरत नहीं है. And I remember that then they started the shoot, and there was news coming out daily in the newspapers and on the internet that now ye scene shoot hua and all of it. And I remember sitting in the office, and one of my friends, she told me that you're like damn stupid. So I was like, why? She told me you should have gone to their office and told them you're a beatboxer and you should have beatboxed in front of them. I was like, I'm not that kind of a guy who will, go and sell himself. कि देखो ये
Yeah.
मेरा talent है, आप मेरे को ले लो. तो इसलिए I was like, हाँ ठीक है, अभी नहीं, they were looking for rappers. It's a movie based on rap, तो नहीं चाहिए होगा beatboxer. But then what happened was, out of all the rappers that auditioned, Shakespeare from my crew got selected
Wow.
for the battle rap scene. And then I remember at that point of time, we had a studio that we had rented out in Nala Sopara for us to record and
Yeah.
for us to jam. Basically, we had rented out a studio. So Shakespeare was told by the Excel casting team that you can even get your crewmates for your scene because we need a lot of audience to be there
Yeah.
and they will be paid. How much they will be paid, he was not told. So he's like, तुम लोग को आना है तो देख लो, क्योंकि सुबह 4 बजे का ट्रेन पकड़ के जाना पड़ेगा, फर्स्ट ट्रेन, क्योंकि 6 बजे शूटिंग चालू होगी और हम रहते हैं यहाँ पे. तो हम सुबह 4 बजे ट्रेन पकड़ के जाना पड़ेगा और ये 3 दिन या 4 दिन का शूट है. सुबह 6 बजे से रात को 7:30-8 बजे तक शूटिंग होगा. तो मैंने आई सेड इंस्टेंटली यस कि भाई मेरे को करना है ये, क्योंकि मेरे को 4 दिन ऑफिस में छुट्टी मिलेगा और मेरे को रणवीर सिंह को देखने मिलेगा और मेरे को मूवी के सेट पे रहने मिलेगा, मेरे को पैसा भी मिलेगा उसका. तो
Wow.
आई इवन कैलकुलेटेड कि हाँ अगर मैं ऑफिस नहीं आऊंगा मेरा एक दिन का इतना रुपए कटेगा तो इससे अच्छा है मैं जाऊं और वो शूटिंग में रहूं, मेरे को मजा भी आएगा. So we ended up going for the shoot, and first day कोई I think what happened was हम लोग का कोई shot ही नहीं लिया. We just standing on site, and I remember like मेरे crewmates ने बोला कि अभी कल से like since like from tomorrow we will think if we wanna come for it, because it's like अरे we were standing here, and you know the expectation that we
Yeah.
had was they would pay us like 300 rupees, or well I say 300 500 max, because some people had that I know of had gone for ये कपिल शर्मा का शो to sit as audience, and they told me 500 रुपए मिलते हैं और कुछ नहीं होता है. तो वी वर लाइक एवरीबॉडी इज सिंगिंग 500 रुपए के लिए हम लोग इतना बैठे क्या कि करना चाहिए कि नहीं करना चाहिए. तो मैंने बोला देखो मैं तो आ रहा हूँ क्योंकि यू नेवर नो व्हाट कैन हैपन. आई डोंट नो, आई हैड दैट इन माय मतलब generally you know always don't try to think positive, or I don't keep any expectations that if I
Mhm.
go here something will happen, because then I feel bad कि अरे कुछ नहीं. और I have that thing in me that I keep zero expectations. I obviously internally you know you get those thoughts कि शायद कुछ हो सकता है कुछ हो सकता है, but I try to keep myself clear कि कुछ हुआ तो सही है, नहीं भी हुआ तो भी चलेगा. ऐसे किसको
Mhm.
बोलना नहीं है मेरे को कुछ मिलने वाला है या मिल सकता है.
Mhm.
So second day also we went there, and second day luckily what used to happen on the set was, because there were so many people, after every shot they should take a break, because taking that shot used to be a huge hassle. The camera used to be so huge. The camera guy had to be held by another person from behind,
Okay.
and and you know all those lights that have to be turned on. So first hand experience I was getting you, oh shit, so much you know goes into making a movie, and if you don't like it we're like अरे क्या trash है ये. So I that is when I realized that you know these actors or whatever, they actually work very hard. ऐसा कुछ
Mhm.
है नहीं कि उनको सब फ्री में मिल जाता है. They also work very hard. तो ऐसे ही हो रहा था, and that break happened, and there were two three beatboxers there. There was a beatboxer called Beat Slayer from Seven Buntais. Then there was a beatboxer called Sonu. He was also there. So I remember because it was our first day on sets, on the set, like our second day, but
Yeah,
amongst
yeah.
that crowd, it was our first day. Everybody started you know chanting our name कि इनको माइक दो, मतलब ये गौरव को दे दो, रोशन को दे दो, ये भी बीटबॉक्स कर दे, इनका
Mhm.
सुनो. Because a lot of people over there hadn't heard it. And luckily, I remember Shakespeare was also sitting with us, and Raj Jones was there with us.
Yeah, yeah.
तो जो शेक्सपियर और राज जोन्स है, दे लाइक यू नो बोलते अरे करो ना शर्मा क्या रहे हो, एंड दे वेंट एंड दे टुक द माइक फ्रॉम समबडी एंड दे गेव इट टू मी, एंड दे गेव इट टू रोशन, एंड रोशन वाज आल्सो फीलिंग शाय, तो बोलता है नहीं तू ही कर ले ऑन द फर्स्ट डे.
Okay.
So then I did it, and everybody flipped. I don't have a clip of me performing, but I remember the cinematographer of the movie, Jay Oza, had put an Insta story where I think it was day 56 of the shoot or whatever. It was a blank story because they couldn't show the set. It
Yeah.
was me beatboxing, and like the crowd is cheering, and that kid
Wow.
still gives me goosebumps. That you know the whole entire venue was like screaming when I started beatboxing, and Ranveer Singh was sitting right in the corner, because in the movie in that scene he's shown कि वो corner में बैठा है with Siddhant Chaturvedi.
Mhm.
So he came running towards me like, "Who are you? Like, what is your name? And you're crazy." I told him, "अरे ऐसा कुछ नहीं है." बोला, "You have to meet me after like everything is done." Obviously, after that day got over, I couldn't meet him because he used to go directly into his vanity van.
Yeah.
Then the next day, Farah Akhtar came on sets. And when he was supposed to leave, Zoya Akhtar told him to wait, कि आप रुक जाओ और इसको सुन के जाओ. So
Mhm.
again, the mic was passed to me. So I told them, नहीं हम लोग दो जन beatbox करते हैं. And then they gave us two mics. And me and Roshan, we performed the set together. And they loved it. And Farhan Akhtar came and met us. And that day, Zoya Akhtar told me that before you leave, you have to meet me. And we
Okay.
just met her. We clicked pictures. Nothing happened. I reached my place, and I get a text from a guy called Siddhant from like the Gully Boy team that hey, there is a track by Spitfire. I need you to beatbox on it. And
Wow.
you and Roshan. make a beat, and and instant मैंने WhatsApp पे भेज दिया, बोलते done. They played the beat in front of Ranveer Singh. He said done, and we ended up shooting the scene after a couple of days. And then after that happened, craziest thing was I'm sitting in my office. I thought done. मैंने एक गाना कर दिया, गली बॉय खत्म. I get added to a WhatsApp group by Dub Sharma saying that there is a track called Jingustan. I've booked a studio in Andheri. You have to go there today with Roshan and you have to record a beatbox version of it. So we go to
Wow.
that studio, we record a version on our own, whatever comes to our head. There is just a producer who's pressing record. He
Hmm.
sends all the files to Dub Sharma, done. Next thing we know is we have two tracks in the movie. And after a couple of days, we're shooting videos of both the tracks with Ranveer Singh. And I'm like, bhai, ye kya hua?
My
From
God.
where did this happen? So till this day, I feel that, I got a call 4 times. Nothing happened. Then I get called on the sets and then this happens. So I think it was written. I don't
Wow,
know.
man.
I really felt that it was at that moment. I felt that this was something was coming to me. I was pushing it away, or it was not coming to me directly, but it still ended up coming to me. So I
Wow,
started
man.
believing that some things are actually written for you. Maybe it was
Phenomenal, man.
written. It was
Phenomenal.
crazy.
Imagine, like, the movie which everybody from the community was waiting for, and imagine you're on the title track and your name's there on Spotify. It's crazy, man. Just it's just a.
Yeah.
I think
And
even he even give you a
yes,
shout, right? I think on the.
yeah.
I love that part.
So what happened was, once the track was the live one was recorded, obviously in the live one he doesn't say all those things.
Yeah,
So once everything was done, the movie was done, we got a call and we had a recording at Purple Haze Studios. And in Purple Haze Studios, when we were recording, Ankur Tiwari, who's the music composer, told Ranveer Singh, आप कुछ भी बोलो, जो भी आपके दिमाग में आता है, catch phrases, because
yeah,
generally, whenever a rap song starts, they're like,
yeah,
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 whatever
yeah,
ad
yeah,
libs. So,
yeah.
and they told him कि ऐसा गली बॉय है और ऐसा हिंदी में बोलना है, जो भी आपके मन में आता है बोलो. So all that, पता है, दो by four, दो से चार है, all that drop करो, decipher by, it was literally off the dome. And I was like, dude, ये बंदा कुछ भी बोलता है, it becomes a quotable. और उसके अंदर वो है, like that 2x4 दो से चार है also like went so well with it. It came off his head, like on the spot. I was like, भाई खतर.
Old school beat, he says, right?
हाँ, all of that was just him. It's crazy. तो ऐसे हुआ and I remember फिर movie आने वाला है and I remember मतलब because we always have that thing in our I have that thing in my head कि कुछ भी ना जब तक पूरी तरह आ नहीं जाता है ना I'm like मालूम नहीं आने वाला है कि नहीं. तो
हाँ,
मैंने
वो तो
बोला
है.
मैंने पिक्चर में काम किया है, अब क्या आता है वो देखेंगे. कि पता नहीं यार एडिट हो गया, एल्बम में आया ही नहीं, you never know. And
Yeah, of
especially
course.
with the track Jingustan, now I remember Siddhant Chaturvedi, I was also thinking the same. Siddhant Chaturvedi calls me and Rosh बोलते क्या है ये, मैंने बोला कि क्या हुआ, बोलते हैं हिंदुस्तान का जिंगुस्तान. ये
Yeah, bit
ट्रैक तो पक्का,
controversy.
ये ट्रैक तो पक्का नहीं आएगा. मैंने बोला मैं भी वही सोच रहा हूँ, बिकॉज पे लाइंस है 2018 है, देश को खतरा है,
खतरा है, yeah.
हर तरफ आग है तुम आग के बीच. तो मैंने बोला भाई ये गाना तो पक्का आउट है. तो हम लोगों ने किसी को ना बोला ही नहीं कि, हम लोगों ने बोला हमने मूवी की शूटिंग की है, क्या आ रहा है वो देखते हैं. और फिर एक दिन पहले रणवीर सिंह डालता है स्टोरी पे कि कल साइफर ट्रैक आ रहा है, और ढप से मेरे दिमाग में आते हैं कल शायद हमारा वाला ट्रैक आ रहा है. मैंने एंड एंड अप टेलिंग रोशन कल वो असली हिप हॉप गाना आ रहा है. तो बोलते हैं ऐसा, मैंने बोला हाँ मेरे को लग रहा है, ऐसा स्ट्रॉन्ग फीलिंग है. एंड वी हैडंट हर्ड द फाइनल वर्जन, दे नेवर शेयर्ड इट
Okay,
विद अस.
you'll never
तो
heard the final version.
no, so whatever Ranveer Singh had said, because he had said a lot of things, हम लोग को ये भी नहीं मालूम कि कौन सा पार्ट सिलेक्ट हुआ है to be in the final song.
Oh my
I
God.
play the track and I'm like, holy shit, like he said all these things, and like we are there in the track, we're there in the video, our names are there, it's mad. So it was like really crazy because I think beatboxing in Bollywood movies have been used earlier, but they're always used in bits and pieces. Like it's a
Yeah,
complete song, or they use those a cappella groups
yeah, yeah.
where harmonies are there, melodies are there, and little bit beatboxing, like one beat playing. But this was the first time that in a movie trailer, a beatboxing track is like used completely. Everything is just beatboxing, zero effects. And it's there in the trailer, and the trailer Ranveer Singh is there, and the movie is on rap. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it could get any better
I
than
mean,
this.
the way they did that was also not very shady, not very cliche. You know,
या एंड
that
आई रिमेम्बर बिकॉज बाद में बहुत सारे चीजें ऐसे हुए जो लोगों ने क्रिटिसाइज की जैसे जो क्योंकि उसमें थोड़े सीन्स थे जो लोगों को लगा बेटर हो सकता वट एवर
Mhm.
बट विद जस्ट विद दिस ट्रैक नो व्हेन द ट्रेलर ड्रॉप बिफोर द व्हेन द टीजर ड्रॉप बिफोर द ट्रेलर पीपल वर लाइक वाओ ये क्या है ये सही लग रहा है ये लेजिट लग रहा है
I mean, it was
तो
perfect. It was just perfect. I
इट
think
वाज
even
परफेक्ट
I remember the trailer I mean, the teaser coming out. I was like, okay, this seems legit. And then obviously, everybody was waiting for it in terms of movie. Because बात बता, how was the reaction at home, yeah? In terms of मेरा बेटा movie में आ रहा
ये
है.
ये
What's the
फनी
reaction?
पार्ट है ये फनी पार्ट है जीरो रिएक्शन
Are you serious? Why?
my dad, no, I don't know. My dad, I मतलब पता नहीं it's a dad thing or whatever.
It's an Indian dad thing.
Dads never show emotion. कि
Yeah.
wow तू आया है. So I told him ऐसा गाना है. He's like ठीक है अच्छा है. That's it. And my sister was damn happy. But like that was it. Like when it comes to my house, my dad just showed minimal reaction. And he तो ended up trolling me because I told him like I was like भाई मूवी देखना तो डैडी को पहले दिखाते कि उसमें मैं हूँ.
Hmm.
I told
Hmm.
my dad, let's go and watch the movie. He's like, but you're there only for 7 seconds. So I was
Great.
like, ठीक है, नहीं देखते हैं. And I have never seen the movie with him, I feel. I've shown him the clips forcefully,
Mhm.
but he has never said that, show it to me or must है यार ये तो रणवीर सिंह के साथ आया whatever. But yeah, that was it. Like in my house, most thanda response I got in my house. Craziest. And it's a thing with artists, you'll notice that your friends, obviously, whatever reactions they give you, but the unknown people on Instagram give you better
Yeah,
reactions.
yeah, that's there.
They hype you up like you're like something else only. So a lot of unknown people, like people that I didn't know of, were like, I started beatboxing because of you. Hey, I'm a 17-year-old girl from this place in India, and I had no idea about beatboxing. I started beatboxing because of you. Some guy from Canada was messaging me. Somebody from USA. मतलब बाप रे. मतलब वो that is where we felt कि ऐसे कुछ किया है, because of which beatboxers also were very happy. And one thing that was like really we felt good about was Roshan, like the guy who beatboxed me, BrkThru. He got a call
Beat
from some beatboxers from Kolkata, and they said, "Thank you for doing this movie and for doing this track. Because of you, we're getting gigs in Kolkata.
Oh
We're never
wow.
getting gigs before this." So
Wow, man.
that was crazy, and I was like, "Yeah, this is something that uplifted the scene." So we were
Amazing,
damn
man.
happy about it. तो
Amazing,
वही
amazing
है.
scene.
मजा
But
आ
like
गया मेरे को लगा.
locally तुम्हारे area में you must have been like, oh, I know this guy. I know
नहीं मेरे
D-Cypher.
ये एरिया में ना विरार में किसको मालूम ही नहीं है मैं इधर रहता हूँ. और कुछ मैं यहाँ पे रहता हूँ और ये बिल्डिंग में भी मेरे को नहीं लगता किसको मालूम है मैं कौन हूँ मैं क्या करता हूँ. मैं यहाँ
Oh
पे
my
रहता
God.
हूँ मैं चुपचाप उठ के जाता हूँ. आई गो टू अंधेरी whatever wherever जहाँ भी शो होता है अंधेरी बैंड्रा खार और लोअर परेल and I come back home and like nobody knows me in the building.
Oh my
It's
God.
actually the truth.
Great. Let's get a bit about beatboxing as an art.
Hmm.
First of all, what's changed after the movie? I think the movie was a big advertisement for you guys actually. So what's changed in terms of career, in terms of knowledge, in terms of the scale that you guys are working at? What's changed for you guys in the whole sense in terms of beatboxing?
After that, I think we already, were expecting it. We started getting inquiries for a lot of collaborations when it comes to doing brand work,
Yeah.
collaborating with other people, making jingles. So we ended up making a jingle for Z5, not a jingle, like a whole track, which was a Ganesh Aarti track.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like really proud of that track as well because when we were initially offered that track, I was very skeptical about it. कि ये गणपति आरती कैसे करेंगे बीट बॉक्सिंग में
Hmm.
हम तो हिप हॉप करते हैं but it like turned out to be really amazing. And yeah, that is what has changed, that we've started getting a lot of brand inquiries. uh We started working in spaces that we've never worked in. I ended up giving a TED talk in
Yeah,
2019. Yeah, yeah.
it's a fun
And
fact.
then
You're the first TED talk I know, so it's a big super duper achievement.
and 20 and I went for it because वो बंदे लोग बोल रहे हैं भाई सिक्किम में है हम आपका टिकट, मैंने बोला अब भी आ रहा हूँ, मेरे को सिक्किम जाने मिल रहा है फ्री में, टेड टॉक ठीक है, मेरे को सिक्किम जाने मिल रहा है. And then me and BrkThru again we performed at a TED Talk event at NMIMS in Mumbai. So that happened. So yeah, I think after that, brand collaborations, uh, doing like collaborating with other musicians. We've performed with some crazy rappers, singers, songwriters. We've worked on some like very different kind of projects in the past 2.5 years. Like since the 1.5 years since the movie came out in 2019, and we did some corporate gigs as well. The best
Wow,
one was, I think the best gig that I've done is like recently was a gig by Seat Tires, and it was an award function, and the whole team of Mumbai Indians were there.
wow,
And पहले they told us that even Virat Kohli and Dhoni and all these guys are going. I was like, wow, अभी मेरे को धोनी को मिलने मिलेगा, मजा आ जाएगा. like ये सब प्लेयर जो मेरे को लग रहा था, पता है, आउट ऑफ रीच है, कभी नहीं मिल पाऊंगा इनको, इनको मिलने मिलेगा. But unfortunately that didn't happen, but we met. So the gig was uh, initially like the gig was like going Slow Cheetah the rapper. He
yeah.
had got that gig, and he thought कि beatboxers को भी include करते हैं. So me, Roshan, Slow Cheetah, and there was another guy called Girish. All of us performed together, and yeah, it was crazy. I think that gig was the craziest because Gaurav Kapoor, the guy who's like a
The host,
wonderful
yeah,
host, I've looked up to him my whole life because he was a VJ on Channel D, and
yeah, yeah.
whatever he used to do with the IPL, he's hosting the event. We are performing. We have like Ajinkya Rane, Sunil Gavaskar, and all the Mumbai Indians ka team sitting right in front of us. So, भाई ये क्या हो रहा है?
And
And the crazy fact was Rohit Sharma's favorite song was Asli Pop in
oh
2019.
wow,
He posted a video on Instagram, and उसका पेपर में एक आर्टिकल आया था where there was Rohit Sharma's photo and my photograph, and the guy he is enjoying the track by this guy. Like इसने beatbox
wow.
किया. वो मेरे को बिना बोले आया, मेरे को मालूम ही नहीं आया. Open the paper and I see Rohit Sharma and my photo next to each other. ये क्या है?
No, it might be huge because for you, I know as much as I know
हाँ.
you, you're a freaking huge cricket fan. Actually, a sports fan. I if you go
Yeah.
if you go to Decipher's Instagram story every
My
day, there is
God.
some sport update. इसने
Yeah.
उधर जीता, women's hockey,
So
women's
मेरा
cricket, everything.
yeah. So
Australia versus New Zealand चल रहा, तू वो भी देख रहा है. मैं बोला
हाँ,
shit.
मेरा क्यों ऐसे पता है, मैंने मेरे जो डैड थे, मेरे जो डैड है, सॉरी, he was a state level athlete. मतलब he was into athletics. वो
Mm-hmm.
100 meters ये सब भागते थे, और वो बॉडी बिल्डिंग ये सब में भी थे. तो बहुत टाइम से बचपन से जो भी एशियन गेम्स होते हैं, कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स होते हैं, ओलंपिक्स होते हैं, और क्रिकेट होता है, ये सब हम देखते हैं. फुटबॉल भी मैंने 2006 से देखना शुरू किया. मैं सिर्फ इंटरनेशनल फुटबॉल, क्लब फुटबॉल इतना फॉलो नहीं करता हूँ, बट तो ऑलवेज अपार्ट फ्रॉम न्यूज दैट माई डैड लाइक्स टू वॉच इज स्पोर्ट्स.
Yeah.
तो पूरा टाइम हम लोग के घर में वो एनवायरमेंट रहता है कि हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि हम लोग ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्पोर्ट्स फॉलो करें. So used to during the Olympics used to wake up at 4 a.m. and watch Aditi Ashok's golf वाला ये, मतलब all of that,
Wow.
मतलब is that. तो मेरे घर पे पूरा पूरा ओलंपिक्स देखा हमने, पैरालंपिक्स भी पूरा देखा.
क्या
So
बात है, wow
crazy.
man.
तो ऐसे ऐसे सीन है, तो अच्छा सीन है मतलब.
That's good, man. That's amazing. So another thing I wanted to ask you in terms of your whole beatboxing thing, where do you feel India is on a world stage? Because I'm pretty sure, we're not. I mean, we're up to the mark, but in terms of an international competition, where do you think we as Indians stand in the whole beatboxing scene as a community? How strong are we as an entire India beatboxing community? And for you personally, is that a target to internationally probably go and win something, represent India in that sense?
Yeah, so I think right now India is at a very good stage because I've seen beatboxers who've been, because I think since 2 years everything was happening online. A lot of
Yeah.
beatboxers have been taking part in online competitions where you upload a video, you put it on Instagram or on YouTube, and that video gets judged by international beatboxers, and on the basis of that, you either end up proceeding to the next round and winning it if you go further. So in the past 2 years, a lot of beatboxers have gotten into these competitions and have ended up doing really well. And I think right now the community all over India is really really amazing, and it's growing like day by day. Because recently, me and Roshan, we judged a competition by Vadodara beatbox community, and when I'd gone to Sikkim, I had no idea there were beatboxers over there because I met like one or two of them. And cut to 2020, during the lockdown, I get to see an Instagram page called Kalimpong Beatbox Community. So it's a place in Sikkim, and I'm like, I was there in Kalimpong and I had no idea that that specific place has a beatbox community. So now
Wow.
beatboxers in India are, coming out from these places as well. And I think the more beatboxers come out from these small cities also, the whole community in India will become stronger and become better in the future. And when it comes to us representing, like going to international competitions, yes, that's a thing that's on our minds. When it comes to like just not battles is also a thing that we would obviously like to do, like me and BrkThru, going international and representing India. And apart from that, like whatever we do with beatboxing, like with the Bollywood track, with that Aarti track, or whatever brand collaborations or events that we do, I think somehow or the other it impacts beatboxing or the use of beatboxing in India and like overall the world as well. Because the problem is beatboxing, since it's just about battles right now, it's restricted to that you're a beatboxer, so you need to
Yeah.
compete in this event, and this is it. Matlab, if you end up being the best in the world, or you can win against other beatboxers, you're a good beatboxer and you can do whatever you can. But and then that, I think that mindset probably restricts beatboxers to look at wider concepts and spaces and all the areas that it can be used in. And I think we are aiming to break that as well with whatever we're doing with beatboxing. Like I'd ended up doing a cipher track with 5 rappers. So there was I don't think I'd ever seen a track in India where it's a cipher track and it's on a beatboxing beat, and there are
Yeah.
5 rappers rapping on it. So with all these crazy concepts or whatever, this is a very normal thing, but with all the spaces that we've used it in, I think we were definitely aiming at going international, like to go to some international countries or represent India at such a stage. Because my dream has been, I still I've put it on Facebook, and मैं रुका हूँ कि जब पूरा होएगा मैं स्क्रीनशॉट लेके Instagram पे डालूंगा. That I've never traveled to any country apart, like मैं इंडिया से बाहर नहीं गया हूँ. So अगर ऐसे मौका मिलता है, I would like to go there for a gig. Like I really want to see me doing a gig with Bombay Local either in UK or in the US. Like how when I connected with LL Cool J, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I'm staying in Virar and I got an opportunity to speak to this guy. So the aim is that either you get to a music festival where there are international acts, but you're the only act from Mumbai or one of the acts, and you go and perform there in front of an international audience, which would be damn crazy. And you showcase your rap, which is very Indian, and your beatboxing also, it has an Indian touch. And also you can go to a competition and represent India internationally. तो ये दोनों aim है हम लोग के दिमाग में. And with every passing day, we are trying to see what all we can do and trying to manage both ends. Beatboxing भी ये करना है और बहुत कुछ ये सब भी करना है, ताकि हम लोग as beatboxers we continuously keep growing, and eventually the scene also grows with us. So that's
Wow.
the aim.
That's amazing, man. So, a bit on a side note, this is again a bit of a personal story that I have. So, when we used to chill on Clubhouse and we used to have a lot of our conversations, we used to always, we used to always, you know where this is going. We used to always make fun of and talk about this amazing Instagrammer that we both follow by the name Monu, and you eventually got a chance to meet Monu. So, tell me about that, dude.
Holy shit. With Monu, my God, with Monu Devri, यही हुआ था कि 2020 में 2020 में नहीं है, यही साल 2020 क्या बोल रहा हूँ, यही साल के स्टार्टिंग में आई सॉ आई थिंक रोशन had shared an Insta story. I just found him funny and then I started following his account. And every day I was like, wow, this guy is the difference between him and other influencers or entertainers was that this guy comes from a really, really humble background. He stays in a
Yeah.
village. He's into farming and he helps his mother and वो ये सब करता है, मतलब कर रहा था और अभी फिलहाल तो वो शहर में ही है. तो that I think was it hit a lot of people that what he's doing is funny, and at the same time it's very nice to watch someone from a humble background just show his lifestyle on a day-to-day basis. So that is the reason why I ended up following him. And with Clubhouse, I I had no idea I could mimic him. Just because of Clubhouse, I did it spontaneously and I was like, oh shit, I'm doing this, and चल रहा है, मजा आ रहा है ऐप पे करने के लिए. Because when you talk in your, I don't know, मतलब जब normal conversation करते थे, there are very few people, like how our group, we used to have those long conversations.
Yeah.
When you enter a random room and you try to have a conversation, people will be like, अरे पका रहे हैं. तो वो तो नहीं करेंगे बात. So obviously when it came to me imitating Monu Devri or yes, it used to make things interesting. So I used to always talk in that accent. And then he had recently come to Mumbai, and the crazy story is he was invited for Big Boss.
Oh my god.
And yeah, him and Deepak Kalal both were invited for it. And when they did the RT-PCR test, Deepak Kalal's test came negative. So he couldn't go to Big Boss because of Deepak Kalal, which is crazy. And then whatever other things he could do, he did that. And after all of that was done, like we got to know that he's in Mumbai. ये मतलब Big Boss story also he had told us when he met us. And one of my friends called Akshay, he DM'd him, and I also DM'd him, ki where are you? And he told me that he's at Mira Road. And I've seen an Insta story that he's at Mira Road, so Mira Road is only half an hour away from my place. So I asked him when can we meet, and on that particular day itself at 11 a.m. he told me, I you can meet me at 2 p.m. So I said, "भाई तैयार होके चले जाओ," and we just went there and we met him, and he ended up making us do a reel. He made us do a reel.
Good see,
So
man.
yeah,
Good.
that's and he's back to he's in Delhi right now. So yeah.
That's amazing because I remember from our conversations to eventually seeing that it was really really cool, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, D-Cypher, this is awesome having you on the podcast. I know we can chat for a long time, and hopefully and most probably you will be back on the podcast. But before we let you go, anything that you want to send out a message to all the new beatboxers, anyone who wants to pick up this career, and before we let you go, finally, we would need not like I don't want you to obviously beatbox for us because I know it's too annoying. Because I really want all my followers and all my friends to go to your Instagram, check it out, and then obviously can get to know about the stuff. But before you go, if you could just teach me like in about 30 seconds how to beatbox one kick or whatever, that'll be great. But before that, any last messages for the beatboxers who want to come on and make this as a career?
My message to anyone who wants to make this as a career would be that right now, even honestly speaking, there's no industry that exists for beatboxers. Like how all of us know that rap is a very big thing right now in India, and rappers end up doing really really big shows and so
Yeah.
many collaboration and stuff. And beatboxing still is something which is not in the limelight. Like there has not been a particular show dedicated to beatboxing or anything like that,
Yeah.
and it's at a growing stage. And with whatever I do and the other people also who have been beatboxing since a long time, all of us are just keeping that thing in mind that whatever good things we do right now, it would be very beneficial to all the other people who will be starting off in a couple of years. So the beatboxing scene right now is still at a very good stage. If any one of y'all want to do this full time, you have to make sure that first you practice this art form with utmost dedication. You don't think of making a career right in the beginning, in at least like the first 2 3 years. Just do it for fun, because once you forget that you forget the fun part, then everything becomes very dull. Then
Yeah.
you'll think of it as a 9 to 5 job. So the fun part should never be forgotten. You should always remember that you're doing this because it makes you happy. And the more you do something that makes you happy, things will happen automatically. Like I can't tell you that, there is this one formula or one thing that you need to do which will get you gigs or get you
Yeah.
work or whatever. You just need to be like doing your thing, whatever you feel internally, you just need to go with it. And you need to be uh, what should I say? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't see myself as a content creator where I post one video every day, because with artists, I know that's very difficult. I know Monu Devri at once he posts like 6 reels, but it's very difficult for us to do that. So don't fall into the pressure that every day you have to post one video or do one specific thing every day.
Yeah.
But make sure that you're constantly either making videos or doing whatever you feel like doing, not by looking at somebody else or doing it just in peer pressure of thinking that, oh shit, I didn't post a video today. Just do whatever you feel like, and once I think you start getting stuff on your own, by either performing at events or by going to competitions, by people discovering you, then once your profile starts building up, eventually in like a couple of years things become better, and then you can like think of taking it up full time. So like how even I had a job where I felt at that point of time, I needed a job to have a stable income. You should
Yeah.
also make sure that you have something along with you where you can go to for getting some income and
Yeah.
practice beatboxing at the same time and do stuff along with it. And once you realize that, okay, my beatboxing thing is also going fine, that is the time I think you should take it up to like and do it full time.
Wow. Makes sense. Now, before we let you go, एक बार थोड़ा सा सिखा दे मेरे को 30 seconds में. I know
हाँ
you're a
बहुत
great teacher. So just teach me whatever I can learn.
हाँ बहुत सिंपल है, तीन ही चीज है बेसिक जो है. वन इज बी, which which stands for kick drum. Second is T for the hi hat, and third is K. Okay, so
BTK. Okay.
we'll just learn how to say BTK. So to do the to do the kick drum, to do the B, all you do is make an O shape with your lips and say the letter B like this.
No, that was
No,
perfect.
what you did right now was you used your bottom lip.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you make an O shape and apply pressure on your lips and release it, you'll get the B sound like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a B sound, okay? The second sound is damn simple. It's T, and it sounds like exactly. Third sound is again simple. You have to say the letter K, but you say it inwards. You breathe inwards. So it sounds like
Okay.
just do it again. You have to get this sound. Just say K. That. That's also fine. Okay. Now you join all these three sounds together and you get a beat like
Okay. All right.
ah. So you need to say boots and cats, so you get this beat. Boots and cats and boots and
Oh.
yeah.
All right, we're going to leave it to the expert, D-Cypher. You do what you do best. Let me do what I do best. But anyways, it was awesome having you on the podcast. You're an amazing
Thank you
guy.
so much for having me.
More power
Thank
to
you.
you. I hope you represent
Thank you.
India in the beatboxing scenario. And
Yes.
hope to see you soon.
100%.
जब तू पुणे में है, let me know. Obviously, you have an invitation
Pakka.
throughout the year.
Pakka.
कभी भी आ रहे हो, let me know. And if I'm in Bombay,
Pakka.
I'm going to meet you and for definitely going to catch up and have some fun.
100%. 100%.
Cheers, bro. Thank you so much for
Cheers.
coming to the
Thank you.
podcast. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.